Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing well. I'm Mr. Twister WX, and in tonight's forecast we have a lot to talk about. So currently, the day one outlook for today is a general risk of severe thunderstorms for much of California, the entire state of Arizona, western New Mexico, western Colorado, and most of Utah, along with the Pacific Northwest near Oregon and Washington. Also, the state of Wisconsin is under a general thunderstorm risk, and earlier today we had a marginal risk of severe weather for portions of eastern Dixie Alley. That threat has now diminished. Moving on to tomorrow, this will be our first moderate risk of 2025, Friday, March 14th. We have a 10% hatch tornado risk stretching all the way from the Jackson, Mississippi area to south of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So some major population centers included in this risk area are Memphis, Tennessee, St. Louis, Missouri, Jackson, Mississippi, Springfield, Illinois, and Evansville, Indiana. Also in our 5% risk, we have Nashville, Tennessee, Birmingham, Alabama, Des Moines, Iowa, Little Rock, Arkansas, and Aurora, Illinois. On our wind risk, this is what is currently driving the moderate risk, a 45% hatch damaging wind risk for this stretches into northwestern Tennessee and southeastern Missouri, all the way towards the Cedar Rapids, Iowa area. So this is for portions of eastern Missouri and western Illinois. So this includes St. Louis, Springfield, Peoria, Decatur, and I believe Champaign, Illinois. So if we look at the synopsis for tomorrow, or the summary, a regional outbreak of severe storms is likely over the lower mid-Missouri, Mississippi valleys, and lower Ohio Valley late Friday afternoon into Saturday morning. Tornadoes, several of which could be strong, as we have mentioned, widespread damaging winds from gusts 70 to 90 miles per hour, which is what is this graphic driving our moderate risk of severe weather, and scattered large hail up to baseball size possible. If we look at our hail risk, we have a 30% enhanced risk hatched for portions of eastern Missouri and western Illinois. So tomorrow is going to be a pretty big day. I will be live tomorrow evening starting around 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and hopefully at least for a couple hours. Moving on to Saturday's outlook. Unfortunately, on Saturday, I will not be able to do any live coverage at all, but we have a moderate risk of severe weather once again for areas of Dixie Alley, such as New Orleans, Louisiana, Birmingham, Alabama, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Montgomery, Alabama, and Mobile, Alabama. So this stretches from eastern Louisiana to central and southern Mississippi, and then much of Alabama is included. We have an enhanced risk stretching all the way back up into northern Ohio. So we cannot currently see the individual risks for this, but this will be driven by damaging winds or a tornado risk. Also regarding tomorrow's, I would not be surprised on the day one for this to be upgraded to a 15% risk somewhere in this general area in eastern Missouri and western Illinois. Now we will take a more in-depth look at the day 3 outlook for Saturday, March 15th. This moderate risk of severe weather, as we mentioned, is from eastern Louisiana all the way to central Alabama. So this is going to be pretty big, likely a bigger day than Friday. This is setting up to be an extreme outbreak. A severe weather outbreak is expected on Saturday across the central Gulf Coast states and deep south into the Tennessee Valley. Numerous significant tornadoes. Notice that wording, whereas Friday's was scattered strong tornadoes. So numerous significant tornadoes are possible on Saturday afternoon and evening, centered on eastern Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. And then those damaging wind swaths and scattered large hail are also likely. Now I would like to take a look at the surface-based CAPE values at the peak of tomorrow's event. So in central Iowa, you can see values upwards of 1,500 joules per kilogram. And then across central Arkansas, these values, that is above 2,000 joules per kilogram of CAPE. If we look in western Illinois towards the center of our moderate risk, you can see just around 1,000 joules per kilogram. Moving on to the storm relative helicity for this time, you can see where that develops as it moves into the storm area. This is where that storm relative helicity, or SRH, is before it moves into our target area. So this is western Missouri. If we go to a later model, you can see how those areas develop as it moves into our moderate risk. That is for the O2Z for Saturday the 15th. So that is Friday evening. Taking a look at these same models for Saturday's event, you can see not as much SRH on Saturday in Dixie Alley, but still quite a bit, up into the couple hundreds. And then in terms of Cape, there will be quite a bit more than on tomorrow's event. In the New Orleans area, we see values upwards of 2,300. So this is a portion of that moderate risk area. This Cape is going to be favorable for severe thunderstorms that will have no trouble rotating and producing tornadoes. So be sure you are on the lookout for that. I do not want to provide too much speculation, but I will state that I think it is unlikely, but there's a slim possibility that Friday's outlook goes high on day one, and I think there is a much higher chance, probably around 60%, that we see a day one high risk. Although, as many people are comparing it, it will likely be nowhere near the magnitude of April 27th. So that is just my thoughts on this. If you have any questions, please be sure to comment below. Thank you all so much for watching, as always. And I would like to give a quick shout out to my language arts table group because they wanted to be mentioned in a video. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope to see you all in the next one.